Hello and welcome back for the final Perfectly Pop series. This is episode 4 and I'm going to show you a version of a premium bouquet. So again, if you've seen the previous videos, you will know we're using all the Sempertex pastel range. We have done the sun, the Lincoln wall, the rainbow, and we have also polka dotted it up. So the bigger ones are the clear ones from Sempertex, and then you've got the smaller ones. I think it says confetti on the pack. We're going to put this base together. We're going to start with the base. So 9-inch quads, and we're going to use 3 of them. And then we're going to use 4-inch quads, 2 of them. We are going to put them together with the ribbon. If you've been watching this before, all the other videos, you will know we take the air out and you've got much more to work with. We're now going to put this together. So you need to decide what order you want them in. These colours are a little bit too close for me, so I'm going to have the lilac in the middle. So I'm going to go melon, lilac, pink, and then these two are going to go in the middle. So let's start with the pink. I'm going to take my 260, wrap it in. The reason some of these are not double stuffed is we're gonna use them for the back bottom. So if you want to save on product, you can. Doesn't matter what one, blue or green. We want to sit that comfortably in the middle there. What I like to do is just push down slightly, bring the 260 up the middle, have it nice and taut, go round, under, back up. Lilac on the top, push down, go round the blue, make sure it's right in the middle so it's creating a spine, back up, give it a pull. Green, round the purple, back up the middle, give it a tug. That's going at the bottom like that, so that one also needs to go at the bottom, so we'll match them. Melon, up under the green, making sure you get right underneath, back up the middle, give it a pull. Now with this extra, we are going to take this back through the middle, creating a spine. You don't need to pull this so hard because we don't want it caving in and making a rainbow shape. We want it to stay like this. So I just pull it through and then I grab a neck and tie it off at the end. So we will have something that looks like, let me find the front, there we go. Next up, we're going to add a water weight on. I like to use a water weight for all my premium bouquets because I love how heavy it makes it and how sturdy and just how perfect it is. So we've used double stuffed balloon here, just with water. It's nice and heavy, in the size of, I don't know what size this is, I'm going to say in the palm of your hands like this. We didn't measure it. I'm going to turn the display upside down. I'm going to go right in the middle of the lilacs here. I'm going to take the neck, grab a neck of the purple. Don't take both, don't take the polka dot neck, just take the inside balloon. You can use both or the inside balloon of this one. And tie them together. Tie them twice, so you don't want this water balloon coming off. Nice and tight, and then I like to just separate the balloons up a little bit just so that it's sitting nice inside and it's not hanging out the bottom where it touches the floor. That's going to create a nice solid base. So we are going to want to put something in the end here to keep it nice and tight. You can use 4, you can just use 1. We're just going to use 1 today, just to simplify it. So we're just going to tie that in. So grab a neck, the stretchiest neck you can find, I recommend. Grab the neck of this one, tie that in. and that's just going to create a way of holding that together. I normally do 4, but I actually quite like that on this one because it's a little bit smaller. We're going to do the same there on that side. Let me turn it round. We're going to grab a neck and tie it in. It just keeps them, that outside quad, from moving, keeps them in place. And the one actually fits really perfect in there. I like that. Now, next up, I'm going to add in some gap fillers, I like to call them. And the gap fillers are under here. Right, these are just going to like fill these little gaps in here, and we're going to use them around the display. These we've used the clear 5-inch balloons and put some confetti inside because why not? How fun is that? And I'm going to use a 260 ribbon. I'm going to tie, let me move that to the side. I'm going to tie this one end around here, around my quad. I'm going to tie the very end of it around my next quad, and I'm just going to make it really, really easy. I'll do it backwards for the sake of the video. I'm going to take the 260, go right into the middle, wrap, and I'm going to take that down to the bottom, and these ones can sit at the top, but I want it to sit further down the bottom, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap that around the blue. Wrap, so that it brings it further down. Well, it usually does. Push that down. There you go. Just brings it a little bit further down. I'm going to do the same the other side. So I'm going to do it backwards. Normally I would stand in front of the display and look what I'm doing, but this is for you. So I'm going to go wrap, making sure that is right in there. This one can sit at the top, this one we can wrap around and sit it further down the bottom. So I'm going to wrap it around that green. You're going to need to use your hands to guide it because it won't naturally want to do it. So wrap it, push it down so that it sits just a little bit lower. They can sit a little bit higher. They can sit a little bit higher, and you've got something that looks like this. Have a play about with your water balloon, make sure that it's still in place, because when you put them on, sometimes it moves it around. So this is now my solid base that I work with. Next up, we are going to attach our number. I have gone for foil number 2 from Amscan, and I am using the pastel rainbow. I think this is going to be the perfect addition. So I have pre-inflated a number 2 for you here. There's still room for it to expand, but nice and solid on the front. I have used the tabs. Now I am a lover of using tabs, not the valve. I don't like using the valve. I do like using the tabs. Now I know lots of people break the tabs, and that's okay, it's completely natural, but if you learn the right way, you'll never break a tab again. I say never, maybe one in 100. If you are using your ribbons and you tie it in the middle and you've got these 2 bits, I use both to tie in. If you are learning, I recommend you just use one side. So it'll be slightly looser, it's tighter if you use 2. But if you're too scared, just use one until you get used to it. Now, if you pull from here and you pull that, you are going to break the tab. If you pull from here, you're going to break the tab. Whereas if you pull from the bottom here, look how far I can get it without breaking the tab. So it's really important that you pull only from the end, and you should never have a problem with tabs ever again, unless it's a faulty one and it was ripping anyway. You really shouldn't have that problem. You should be able to pull it really far. The reason I don't like pulling the valve is because in the winter they go down a little bit when it's cold, and I like to give it an extra little bit of a pump just before it goes out to a client. That's my reason, and that's the way I like to do it. You can stick this down if you want. I prefer to just leave it open until it goes out the door, put a little bit more air in, then stick it down, then it's good to go. So I'm going to attach this into the display. Again, I would attach it I would stand in front of the display, but for you guys, I'm just going to make sure the numbers are on the right way. I'm going to do it backwards for you. So do not worry where the foil is going whilst you're doing this. All you want to worry about is holding the very end and taking it down and under. So basically what we're going to do, if I can just give you a little bit of an idea, we're going to tie these together like this and create like a elastic band, and we're just going to like hook that on basically, but it won't come off. So do not worry where this foil is going in the process of putting it on, because it will eventually want to stand up as you pull it anyway. So I'm going to go through the lilac balloons like this. I'm going to take it down. I haven't even pulled on those 260s yet. I've just got it in position. I'm not even pulling. I'm just getting it in position. I'm going under those foil balloons. You can if you, the lilac balloons. You can if you want go all the way to the bottom. Sometimes I do that, but in this case it's not necessary. It feels nice and tight and solid. And I connect all four. So if you want, turn the display upside down. I tie all four together twice. So once we've added your number on using the tab method, we're now going to do the perfectly popped tough test and the perfectly popped spin test, because I want to show you that it really does work. So tough test and spin test. You are supposed to go all the way around, but you get the point. Next up, we are going to add on a rainbow made from 260s. Next up is the rainbow made from 260s, again all Sempertex pastel matte range, and I have matched the clouds to these clouds, which is the satin fuchsia, which is now my new favourite. It's beautiful. So let me just give you a quick rundown on how to make this. So I have started already. You start with the smallest one first. Now I love this technique. You can use about 3 or 4 different techniques on making the rainbows, but this has to be my favourite. I learnt it from Chris because he is the best. Start with the middle, then keep going from there. So what we have done is we've used a 260, and when you are attaching that middle one, find the middle of the 260 so that you've got enough coming that way and enough coming that way. And we start with a pinch twist. So you want to do 2, so you've got 1 there and 1 there. And then just keep going and wrapping this around. So let me demonstrate with the next part. So let's go in with green. So we've got 1 pinch twist here. I'm going to go in again. I'm going to go again with another one. So it looks a little bit more like that. Start here, take the clear 260, and we want to keep it nice and tight and just add it in. Wrap it round, pull it tight. Bend it round, nice and tight. Here is where we're going to do the next twist. bring your 260 through, like this. Pull it tight. And you can see it building. You just want to neaten up those pinch twists so they're all facing, when you've done it at the end, make sure they're all facing forward like this, and just keep going. Yellow, melon, pink, and we will have this at the end, and then you just want to use your 5-inch to make your clouds. That's the back, so you can see these bits hanging off. I would leave these extra bits because we might be able to use them to attach them to the bouquet, but there's your front. So just keep on with that same method. Obviously pinch the end there, cut the air, and then tie them off so it's all neat at the bottom. Get rid of all those bits and you have the perfect rainbow. You don't need to glue it, you don't need to use anything. It holds it together. Fantastic way of making a rainbow, and super easy as well. You could leave the number plain like this, but in perfectly popped fashion, I like to decorate the number. I think it looks really, really nice. So I'm gonna do some pearls and some 260s just going around the middle. With the pearls, I'm just going to do 2 pumps of air, and I'm just going to wrap them around the middle. So I'm just going to wrap around the number and tie them off at the back using what is left over. I'm going to turn it round. I've just undone a pearl, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it up and redo the pearl. I didn't twist it enough times. So once it's on, you can go back in carefully. Twist that one pearl. It sometimes undoes this opposite side as it twists, but if you go back in, hold this one in your hand, the one underneath, and twist the one. That's how you do it. Cut the back off, make it aesthetically pleasing. You've now got some pearls at the front. Now I'm going to put some plain 260s around it as well, just to decorate it up, makes it more interesting. I do like to let a bit of air out so they're a little bit more bendy and a bit more flexible. They're not going to go bang. I'm going to do the same, wrap it round. You can do the whole pinch twist thing with this, but I'm going to make it really simple. Wherever that nice and tight, I'm just going to twist it in like that. I'm going to cut the end off here. I'm going to tie, nice and close together like that. Cut the ends off. I like to do double, but for this we'll just do 3. But I normally like to do 2 of these pearls, 2 of them again, or 2 lots of pearls or 3 lots of pearls. There's no rules. Zigzag pearls, do whatever you feel you want to do. Let me turn that round again. Going in again. I make it super easy. I pull it so I know that I can get a finger under, but it's nice and tight. And all I do is I twist it in and around that knot. I hold both of them. I cut and I tie. Like I said, you can do the whole pinch, twist thing if you want, but I'm gonna stick to ease, level them up so that all the aesthetics is at the back, and there we go. Move them up the number if you feel you need to. I like it nice and thick, but we're going to leave it like this today. Next up is the attachment of the rainbow. So get your rainbow, line it up, think about where you want it to sit. I like it there. Yes, it does cover the number, but you'll notice in a lot of my bouquets I cover the number. I think you can still see it's a 2. You can do that, but that to me does not work. It needs to go like this. It does hang over, but it's a big rainbow. For me, it doesn't belong anywhere else. You can sit and move that around and it's just not going to work. It doesn't work there. It's hiding everything that we've just done. So for me, you can still see the shape because we're leaving a gap here, so you can still see that's a number 2, and we are going to fix this on. How I would fix it on is a 260 through the clouds, and I would tie it to this, and then I would glue it to this, because then it's going to stay perfectly in place. So I'm going to do that now. Get my 260. No, these ones are already pre-made over here, so it was around about here. I'm going to go for one of these balloons under here because it's closest to where I want to attach it, because I don't want it pulling. I don't want it deciding where it sits for me. I want to have full control of where it sits. So I'm going to go under here with the attachment of my 260. I'm going in. I'm going to leave enough where I've got enough both sides, like this. Again, I'm not going to worry about where this sits right now. I just want to get it attached. So I'm going to move them out the way so I don't damage them. I'm going to go in. I'm actually just going to pull one side, so I'm going to go in and get that right in there, right under, and I'm going to pull that back up. So now all I've got to do is attach both of them together like that, turn it round, get it sitting where you want, bring them back up, put them back in their position. So that is now naturally sitting quite nicely, and then I would still glue it to there just to hold it in place. So I'll do that now. One thing I would like to suggest that you do is cut these tabs off, because they do not look good when you get those gorgeous photos and these two little things are sticking out the top. So all I would do is cut them off. I know it sounds really scary, but as long as you're cutting in line with this rim, you're absolutely fine, like that. You can stick them down if you're more comfortable, use sellotape, use glue, whatever you want. But that's what I do, and then I just flatten it down like that. Next up, I'm going to add in a cluster of helium, which I just think is going to finish this display off perfectly. So here is my helium bundle. They aren't tied together, so I'm just going to show you what I do to keep them together, but you can arrange them however you want. I like them but at all different levels. I think it looks really amazing. Little curl of ribbon, and add these beautiful bits to hide that neck, because that can look a little bit ugly, can't it? So hide your necks on your helium with some 5-inch balloons, and you just twist them to make them look like 2 pearls basically. So what I'm going to do, I'm happy with the way that they are sitting, so I'm going to tie them in a knot so they stay like that, just like this, because now I'm not going to be afraid that they're all going to move. They're going to perfectly stay like that. Now I'm literally going to use this bit and wrap it into my display at the back. I want it to sit around here, so I'm going to turn the display around, and I'm going to use this part to wrap around here. So I want it to sit about there, So let's go in and wrap, 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 wrap. Just be really dramatic with it. Wrap, and make sure you're happy with where they're sitting. I know the rainbow covers that one a little bit, but I think that it works really well. If you'd like to perfectly pop this display up a little bit more, you can add some pearls in the bottom, some 260 flowers coming up the side. I'm extra, so I always add more in. If you do want to learn the perfectly popped way, my base, because this one is different, so if you want to learn my base, the way that I attach double numbers, my beautiful flower, or any of those extras, you can purchase that on my website. So come over and follow me on Instagram if you want to perfectly pop it up a bit more. But that is how I have made it for this 4-part series today. Thank you to Amscan for having me, and thank you so much for everything. I hope you've loved it. I hope you've caught all the videos, and enjoy.